And happening today, the House Border Caucus is going to be holding a press conference to discuss their priorities and goals for stopping the flow of illegal migrants into the United States.
And President-elect Donald Trump, his transition team is already eyeing several key policy changes.
Couldn't come soon enough. Peter Doocy is in Washington. Peter.
And one of the top agenda items today for the House Border Security Caucus is going to be expanding the use of ankle and wrist monitoring bracelets for people that ICE knows are here illegally, but they can't deport yet. Our colleagues at Fox Digital are exclusively reporting this morning that Republicans are going to argue the GPS jewelry is a lot cheaper than locking all these illegal immigrants up. $8 a day for a bracelet versus $150 a day for detention. And they might need to order a few million of these things if the plan moves forward. According to the Center for Immigration Studies, 7.9 million illegal aliens are residing in sanctuary cities, counties, and cities. This is becoming an unsustainable, dangerous problem for Aurora, Colorado. That's where 14 suspected Tren de Aragua gang members are in custody after allegedly invading an apartment and torturing two people. Police say at least one victim was pistol whipped. A council member there says at least one victim had their fingernails ripped off.
I am tired of this being portrayed as just another gang in Aurora. This is so heinous. This is a whole different level, and I am tired of it. I've been called a liar. I've been told this was in my imagination. This has been downplayed, and people are suffering, and I will not be silenced on this issue.
Remember, Tren de Aragua problems were dismissed by some Trump critics during the campaign as being only a problem for a handful of apartment complexes. The problem appears to be worse than that, and it's putting pressure now on the incoming Trump administration to stop this specific kind of gang violence like they said they would during the campaign. Back to you.
So, Peter, are the ankle bracelets, the ankle monitors, are those going to be in place of having them deported, or they just want to keep an eye on them? Okay, there's a million in interior. We're going to know where they all are?
It sounds like they will explain that at the press conference today, but it would be while the deportation proceedings are in place. When the president-elect says that they're going to deport all these guys on day one, it's going to be a little bit more complicated than just going and immediately taking 11 million people into custody and putting them back to their country of origin. This would be to have GPS eyes in place of eyes on them and in place of a jail cell, because there just are not enough jail cells at this point for 11 million people. So this is the bridge.
Right. Got to deport, you got to control, and we got to block, build a wall, build that facility. Thanks, Peter. So for the big apology is when it comes to this gang, and even though it might not be the Venezuelan gang, it looks like it according to officials there, big apology should go out to J.D. Vance, to President Trump, to that councilwoman, and others who said this is a huge problem. It's not just one apartment building. You'll see that shot in a matter of moments. It is a big deal that they're breaking into apartments. They're taking over cities. They've overwhelmed Denver. And you had mayors and governors, including Jared Polis, come out and essentially say Donald Trump was making it up. Well, now the election's over. Tell those people that were captured and kidnapped and tortured that there is no gang threat and illegal immigrant threat in Aurora.
Well, this is what I'm sorry, go ahead, Ainsley.
Thank you, Lawrence. The home invasion started, it was at 2:30 in the morning yesterday morning, and you have this couple, or a man and a woman, I assume they're a couple, and the victims were kidnapped and assaulted. I didn't know that about the fingernails until Peter just said that. How painful would that be? The police chief said they were pistol whipped, they were beaten, they were mistreated. He's calling it torture, which I would say that's how you see in the movies when they torture people and they capture them in other countries, they rip out their fingernails.
We want information.
Exactly. And without question, he says it's a gang incident.
Yeah, well, it's a violent gang, and this is what they do. And I don't know why we are surprised that when we allowed this gang to come across the border, they're doing the same thing to our citizens now. But I want to talk about these ankle monitors, because I think the Trump administration has good intentions, but these things do not work. If y'all remember, a few years ago, I did a story in Indiana of the ankle monitors, because one of the people that had them got off after he beat his girlfriend. They put the ankle monitor on him, and within a month, he killed her. The same way, if you look at the Jocelyn Nungry's case, one of the Venezuelans had an ankle monitor on there, and he got away and then murdered her. Part of the problem is that these ankle monitors are not monitored by the police. It's a private company that monitors the ankle monitor, and then they report to the police.
Don't they rip them off?
They rip them off, and then they don't alert the authorities to sometime 48, 72 hours after. So these people are long gone. I get the intentions, because what's going to happen is they try to put these people in custody. And if there's a country that does not honor the detainer to get them back, they can only keep them in custody for about 6 months. So there's a legal ramification right there, but they just don't work.
Right, and they don't have enough people to do the monitoring.
Right.
You know, you have to have eyes on, and as Peter said, you know, maybe it is just the bridge, so we know where these worst of the worst are, so that when it's ready time to go, we go and get them. This particular incident in Aurora is at that same place that we've been talking about for months. It's a place called the Edge at Lowry Complex. And apparently, the man was also stabbed, according to Channel 7 out in Denver. That's their news. But what's interesting, they wound up, at this hour, 19 people have been detained. That's the infamous place. That's the same building. And you know how the couple got out and got away from these people who were presumed to be gang members? They said, okay, let us go. We promise not to call the cops. And they said, okay, don't call the cops. They called the cops. 20 minutes later, the cops were swarming the place. They picked up 15, 16, 17, 18. They're now up to 19. And the DHS Investigations Unit and ICE also now trying to find more people involved.
They said mostly men. Mostly men, but some women, too.
A couple of women.
So J.D. Vance was on about a month ago with Martha Raddatz, and Martha Raddatz was determined to show that Donald Trump was making a big deal of this for the election, just trying to talk about illegal immigrants and their crimes. Listen to how tone-deaf she is, and if she's not typing an apology right now, it must be because her butler hasn't woken her yet. Listen.
President Trump was actually in Aurora, Colorado, talking to people on the ground. And what we're hearing, of course, Martha, is that people are terrified by what has happened with some of these Venezuelan gangs.
Senator Vance, I'm going to stop you because I know exactly what happened.
Martha.
I'm going to stop you. The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border?
And, you know, it's unbelievable. It's the line, I think, of the campaign. Can you hear yourself? Todd Chamberlain, the Aurora County Police Chief, said, I had a discussion with individuals from the White House, and that when this occurred back on September 23rd, I believe, and that person at the White House basically told me, hey, once these immigrants get across the border, that's all we really care about. And to me, that's a problem. No kidding, that's a problem.
Well, you guys know my philosophy. Either you can be loud or you can be wrong. You can't be loud and wrong. And that was the media. She was a reflection of the entire media. They did not take the issue seriously, despite all the polling suggesting that the border was the number 2 issue. You would think there would be some concentration, but all they wanted to talk about is the eating of cats and dogs and all the others. They missed the larger problem there. I did an interview with Jocelyn Nungry's family as well as the district attorney in Houston a couple days ago, and we're going to bring it to you later.
And she's a Democrat, but she's pushing for the death penalty, and she said this is not about politics, not about which side you're on.
Well, she's a Democrat, but she's also a moderate Democrat that lost her seat, lost her office as a result of being a moderate. And that just shows you there's no place right now, it seems, for a moderate Democrat that's reasonable on these type of issues.
But we keep going to Senator Fetterman because he has a lot to say. They're in 20 states. If it is that this Venezuelan gang, they're in at least 20 states. And people like small towns in Utah are saying, we can't handle this. We need federal help because of what you did at the border. And by the way, I saw Bill Malugin did a report from Laura Ingraham last night. He got video on the Mexican side, and it shows thousands of people, average 1,500 a day, just going in and out like a line at like you're going to watch a Taylor Swift concert. And they have let in through their app. They said they control the border now. Through that app, 900,000 since that app, they began to control the border. So we had a 900,000, 1,500 a day through Joe Biden's app. You better delete that app right away. Mr. President, when you get in office January 20th?
Yeah, it could be delete that and delete TikTok. It could be a 1-2 punch. We should point out that what we were just showing you that happened in Aurora, Colorado. Colorado is a sanctuary state.
Of course it is.
Yes.
Well, and the news is this morning, over half of the migrants in the country illegally are in migrant cities and states. The number one migrant state is California. 22% of the migrants in the country illegally are there. And as for New York City, 6%
But
of
Ainsley,
all the illegal migrants
how much
are
credit
here in
does
New York.
Greg Abbott deserve? Because remember, the only reason why these cities are talking about this is because he started to bust them there.
Right.
There was remember all the Democrat pundits that said, this is a stunt. The stunt worked because they felt what we felt in Texas for years.
Right. Well, Texas was paying the bills for all these illegals, and he's saying, y'all aren't seeing the problem. We are, and we're paying for it, and taxpayers are paying for it. So I'm going to start showing the problem to you all. We're going to share this. It shouldn't just be Texas. And once they started busing them into sanctuary cities, then people started losing their seats. Then blue cities started to be aware of what was happening.
And Fox and Friends and Fox News Channel, we were the first ones to show what was going on. And then eventually, when they started showing up at the Port Authority of New York, then suddenly it became a local story, became a national story, became the #2 issue of campaign.
And then our mayor here in New York, a Democrat, started saying, wait a minute, maybe we shouldn't be a sanctuary city. We can't afford them.
First, he was setting up streamers. And, welcome, guys. I can't wait. Go ahead. Go play in the playgrounds and have a good time.
Yeah, since changed.
After 150,000 later, and we ran out of Roosevelt hotels to give away, he realized he's in trouble. By the way, Governor Polis, you also should apologize because you knew the truth and you were saying it for election purposes.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.